Welcome back to Epic Geekverse. I'm Lucas, and today we're diving into the chaos brewing in the MCU. Doomsday is confirmed to begin production at the end of March. But the real question is, why are the trailers for Fantastic Four, First Steps and Thunderbolts showing us two different versions of New York being swallowed by apocalyptic shadows? And why, according to the cryptic asterisk in the Thunderbolts teaser, are the Avengers nowhere to be found? Where are they? Well, let's break it down. On one hand, the Avengers we know best in the MCU are either dead, retired, missing, or hiding behind magical anonymity. But the ones who should be stepping up to save the day? I think they might already be busy, pre-avenging the villain lurking on the other side of these shadows, waiting to pick up the pieces. That villain? None other than Dr. Doom. In this video, I'm going to unpack the mystery of the Void of the Century and Thunderbolts, how it connects to the Void we've seen elsewhere in the MCU, and how all the clues for Doomsday and Secret Wars tie into what we now know about Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four. Buckle up, because this is going to be a wild ride. The Void of the Century, a terrifying new threat. The latest Thunderbolts trailer gives us a chilling glimpse of the Dark Century form attacking New York City. The visuals are harrowing, fleeing civilians struck down, their shadows burned into the ground as if by an atomic blast. These shadows spread outward, eventually engulfing all of Manhattan in an inky abyss. This isn't just another superhero battle. It's a full-blown nightmare for the average person. Let's put this into perspective. We've seen the decimation from Thanos' snap, and while it was haunting to watch Peter Parker disintegrate into ash, we knew he'd be back. There was no lingering trauma, no piles of dust to remind us of the loss. But this is different. The shadows left behind are visceral, permanent, and deeply unsettling. They're a stark reminder of the fragility of human life in a universe teeming with cosmic threats. What makes this even more striking is the fact that these are innocent civilians, not superheroes or warriors. They're just people trying to escape. And in an instant, they're gone. When was the last time we saw something this brutal happen to regular folks in the MCU? Sure, we've had battles in New York, Sokovia, and Lagos, but the deaths were often sanitized, happening off-screen or to characters who faced their fate head-on. This is raw, unfiltered horror. The horror element of Thunderbolts is unexpected but welcome. The MCU has dabbled in darker themes before. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness brought a taste of Sam Raimi's signature terror. And Infinity War gave us an unforgettable gut punch. But Thunderbolts seems to be pushing the boundaries even further, embracing the sheer terror of what it means to be helpless in the face of something unstoppable. The Dark Century form isn't just a villain, it's an existential threat. It doesn't negotiate, doesn't have a tragic backstory to justify its actions. It simply consumes, leaving nothing but darkness in its wake. The shot of Manhattan swallowed whole, its skyline dissolving into black voids of nothingness, might be one of the most haunting images we've ever seen in the MCU. It's a stark contrast to the usual destruction we've come to expect. There are no flames, no collapsing buildings, just an all-consuming silence. The trailer raises unsettling questions. How do you fight something like this? Can it even be stopped? What happens to those lost in the void? Are they truly gone? Or is there something worse waiting on the other side? The MCU has always balanced its high-stakes battles with moments of hope. But this time, hope feels like a flickering candle in a hurricane. As we edge closer to Thunderbolt's release, one thing is clear. This isn't just another action-packed Marvel film. This is a horror story wrapped in a superhero shell, a nightmare given form, and a chilling reminder that in a universe filled with gods and monsters, sometimes the most terrifying thing isn't what you see, it's what you don't. The Void, a cosmic entity with a dark history. Few villains in Marvel's vast universe command the same level of terror and intrigue as the Void. More than just an ordinary antagonist, the Void is a malevolent cosmic force that exists as the dark reflection of Bob Reynolds, better known as the Sentry. Its origins are steeped in mystery and horror, spanning centuries of devastation and whispers of biblical proportions. With the Thunderbolts movie drawing heavily from the Dark Avengers 2009-2010 storyline, The arrival of the Void could signal one of the most terrifying threats the MCU has ever seen. The birth of darkness. The Void's connection to Sentry begins when Bob Reynolds consumes an overpowered super soldier serum, granting him godlike abilities rivaling even Thor and the Hulk. However, this immense power comes with a terrible cost. Unbeknownst to him, his abilities split into two entities, the Sentry, a beacon of hope, and the Void, a manifestation of destruction and chaos. This duality mirrors the classic struggle of light versus darkness, but with far more horrifying implications. Throughout Marvel lore, it's implied that the Void predates Reynolds himself. Some theories suggest it has existed since biblical times, possibly as the angel of death that struck Egypt during the Exodus. Others speculate it as an ancient, eldritch entity that feeds on fear and despair, lying dormant until the right vessel, Bob Reynolds, awakens it. A force beyond control. Unlike most villains, the Void is not just a sentient being, it's a force of nature. It doesn't need a host to wreak havoc. It can manifest independently, consuming entire cities in an abyss of darkness, resurrecting the dead, and tearing rifts in reality. However, when it does merge with Reynolds, it creates something even more terrifying: Dark Sentry. Dark Sentry isn't just a corrupted version of his heroic self, he is power unleashed. He possesses molecular kinesis, the ability to control matter and energy at a fundamental level. This allows him to suffocate his enemies in a swirling void of black tendrils, erase beings from existence, and twist reality to his will. What makes the Void so terrifying isn't just its raw power, but the psychological torment it inflicts. It thrives on despair, whispering into Bob's mind, convincing him that he is destined to destroy everything he loves. The Thunderbolts connection. The Thunderbolts movie trailer gives us a glimpse of this terrifying transformation in action. Fans have speculated that Sentry, played by Steven Yeun, will be the team's primary adversary, with the Void gradually taking over his body throughout the film. If true, this would be a major deviation from the original Thunderbolts lineup, which focused on Baron Zemo's team of anti-heroes. Instead, Marvel appears to be embracing the dark Avengers storyline, where Norman Osborn leads a team of morally ambiguous heroes, while struggling to contain the rising threat of the Void. The inclusion of the Void also raises major implications for the future of the MCU. If the Void can't be killed, only forgotten, what happens if it finds a new host? Could it manipulate reality to resurrect lost villains or bring forth new cosmic horrors? If Marvel chooses to explore the full potential of the Void, we could be looking at an entity that even the likes of Kong the Conqueror and Galactus would fear. The true horror of the Void. What makes the Void such a compelling villain isn't just its power, it's the philosophical horror it represents. It's the idea that ultimate power doesn't just corrupt, it fractures the soul. Bob Reynolds is both the greatest hero and the greatest threat the Marvel Universe has ever seen. His struggle with the Void isn't just a battle against an external enemy, but a war within himself. One where losing means the annihilation of everything. With Thunderbolts on the horizon, the MCU may be setting the stage for one of its darkest, most psychologically intense storylines yet. The question isn't just whether the Thunderbolts can defeat the Void, it's whether Bob Reynolds can survive himself. One thing is certain, the storm is coming. And this time, even the strongest heroes may not be able to hold back the darkness. Connecting the dots. The Void in the MCU. Now, you might be wondering, is this Void connected to the Void we saw in Loki and Deadpool and Wolverine? The answer is, maybe. In Loki, the Void is a multiversal dumping ground patrolled by Alioth, a creature born from the tears in reality during the first multiversal war. It's a place where pruned timelines and redundant universes go to die. But the Void in Thunderbolts is an entity, not a location. That said, Marvel Studios loves to tie things together. It's possible that the Void entity in Thunderbolts is somehow linked to the Void location from Loki. After all, both are tied to the concept of incursions, collisions between universes that leave behind scar tissue in the form of residual energy. This energy could be what's fueling the Void's attack on New York. A bigger picture. The Void's role in the MCU's multiversal narrative. If the Void entity in Thunderbolts is indeed connected to the Void location in Loki, it could serve as a major piece in Marvel's overarching multiverse storyline. The MCU has been laying the groundwork for larger threats beyond just Kong, and the Void, whether as a place, an entity, or both, could be an extension of that cosmic chaos. We've already seen Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness introduce the concept of incursions, which are destructive events caused by the collision of different realities. The Void's existence as an entity in Thunderbolts could be a manifestation of those incursions in a more tangible, aggressive form. Perhaps it has been absorbing residual multiversal energy from collapsing timelines, growing stronger, and now poses a direct threat to the main MCU reality, Earth 616. The connection to Deadpool and Wolverine. With Deadpool and Wolverine set to fully embrace the multiverse, it's entirely possible that the Void will play a role in that film as well. Deadpool is no stranger to breaking the fourth wall, and with rumors suggesting his film will explore the collapsing Fox universe, the Void could serve as a key location or even a force that's consuming these dying realities. Could it be the same energy that erases universes once they are deemed irrelevant? And if so, who or what controls it? Alioth, the TVA, and the Void's future. Alioth, the shadowy force patrolling the Void in Loki, might also have a deeper connection to this new Void entity. In the comics, Alioth is an immensely powerful being that consumes entire realities. If the Void entity in Thunderbolts is drawing from the same source of energy, we might see a scenario where Alioth is just one form of the Void's destructive power. Furthermore, the TVA, Time Variance Authority, has been closely monitoring multiversal activity. But with Kong variants in chaos and the TVA potentially weakened, the Void could now be running rampant without any checks and balances. If the Void is consuming collapsing realities, could it eventually become a bigger threat than Kong himself? What this means for the MCU's future. Marvel Studios is clearly weaving a massive multiversal tapestry, and the Void might be a crucial thread. Whether it's a cosmic devourer of doomed timelines, an energy field left in the wake of incursions, or something even more sinister, its presence in Thunderbolts suggests it's more than just a one-off concept. As Phase 5 and 6 progress, we might see the Void expand into a larger, omnipresent force, perhaps even setting the stage for Avengers, Secret Wars. After all, if the Void is tied to incursions, it could be the very thing that forces the Avengers to seek out solutions beyond what they've encountered before. For now, we can only speculate, but one thing's certain: the MCU never introduces concepts without a plan to connect them. The Void may just be the missing link that ties together Loki, Deadpool and Wolverine, Thunderbolts, and the future of the multiverse itself. Where are the Avengers? So, why aren't the Avengers stepping in to stop this? It's a fair question, and the answer isn't as simple as, they're on vacation. The truth is, most of the Avengers we know and love are either gone, retired, or dealing with their own world-shattering problems. But what about the ones who should still be around, heroes like Doctor Strange, Hulk, Captain Marvel, Spider-Man, War Machine, and Ant-Man? The logical assumption is that they're busy with something even bigger, something so dire that it demands their full attention. My theory? They're locked in an unseen battle against Doctor Doom on another front, struggling to prevent him from seizing what's left of the multiverse. Doom has always been one of the greatest threats in Marvel lore, and if there's anyone scheming to take advantage of the chaos left behind by incursions, it's him. This theory gains even more weight when you consider the Fantastic Four trailer. We see an apocalyptic shadow engulfing a retro-futuristic version of New York, hinting at a reality-shattering event on the horizon. While the immediate assumption is that Galactus is responsible, here's the twist: Galactus is a devourer of worlds, not a transporter of people and places across dimensions. So, who could be behind such a cosmic upheaval? Enter Reed Richards and his son, Franklin Richards. Reed is one of the most brilliant minds in the Marvel Universe, and Franklin is an Omega-level mutant with reality-warping abilities. It's entirely possible that Franklin, whether intentionally or as a result of some catastrophic event, has played a role in reshaping realities, pulling pieces of different timelines and universes together in a desperate attempt to preserve existence itself. This would explain why the Avengers are missing in action. If the very fabric of reality is unraveling, they may be fighting battles we can't even comprehend yet. Perhaps Doctor Strange is leading a secret war against Doom in the shadows, while Hulk and War Machine attempt to hold the line against multiversal incursions. Maybe Spider-Man and Ant-Man are navigating the chaos, trying to find a way to reverse the damage. And Captain Marvel? She could be off-world, dealing with a cosmic threat that we haven't even seen yet. The MCU has been gradually setting the stage for something massive, and all signs point to an impending collision of realities, with the Fantastic Four making their grand entrance and the X-Men on the horizon. It's entirely possible that the Avengers' absence is tied to something much bigger, something that will make their eventual return more impactful than ever. So don't count Earth's mightiest heroes out just yet. They may be out of sight, but they're definitely not out of the fight. The big picture: Doomsday and Secret Wars. Everything we've been witnessing in the MCU lately is building towards something monumental. Avengers, Doomsday and Secret Wars. The Void's relentless attack on New York. The mysterious incursions shaking the multiverse to its core. And the chaos that seems to be spreading from every corner. It's all leading up to one explosive event. There's a larger plan unfolding, and we're all watching as the pieces fall into place. But what exactly is that plan? The 616 universe, as we know it, is on the brink of death. It's not just the inevitable fate of all things, but the result of an overwhelming force, incursions, that have been slowly poisoning it. Every incursion is a wound, each one deeper and more damaging than the last. The universe is sick, it's broken, and it's dying. This isn't just cosmic drama, this is the inevitable collapse of an entire reality. Enter the Void. This enigmatic force is the physical manifestation of the universe's sickness. It represents the destructive energies and corruptive aftermath of every incursion, every tear in the fabric of space and time. Its goal isn't just to watch the universe fall apart, it's here to end it. To pull the plug on the 616 universe, turning it into a lifeless husk before sending its remnants into the Void. A place where everything is broken beyond recognition. But here's where things get truly interesting. Who's waiting in the Void to pick up the pieces? Dr. Doom, yes, the same villain we've seen and heard of for years. But now he's more dangerous than ever. With the collapse of the multiverse on the horizon, Doom is poised to use the wreckage to build his own empire. Battleworld. A kingdom forged from the ruins of every reality that has ever existed. A place where Doom rules supreme. Where the chaos of 1,000 realities can be shaped into something entirely new. This is more than just a villain's plot to rule the world, it's the endgame. Doom doesn't just want power, he wants to remake the multiverse in his image. And the consequences of his ambitions? They're nothing short of catastrophic. As the MCU pushes toward a cataclysmic showdown, we're seeing the threads of reality begin to unravel, setting the stage for a battle that will determine the fate of not just one universe, but every universe. Every decision, every hero, and every event we're seeing unfold right now, it's all part of the grand design. Avengers, Doomsday and Secret Wars won't just be a battle for survival. They will be the final, defining conflict of the multiverse. The stakes have never been higher, and the time to prepare for the reckoning is running out. Brace yourselves, because what comes next will change everything. So, what do you think? Is the Void in Thunderbolts connected to the Void from Loki? Are the Avengers already battling Doom behind the scenes? And how does Franklin Richards fit into all of this? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.